Okay, we are live. Good morning, everyone, and hello, wherever you're joining me from in this live session. I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to sign in, to join in. And actually, in the meantime, just let me know, where are you watching from? Where are you joining in from? I'm really curious to find out. If you can just comment below and let me know. And also let me know what had you be here in this live session this week. Good. So I wanted to actually go through something different this week with you. As usual, and as I've done in the previous sessions, is something very practical that we are going to look at, something that you can take away immediately from this session and implement in your business right away. And as I'm sharing with you the intention of this session, I just want to check one last time that everything is working technically good, and you can see me and you can get the full stream of me, so to say. Good. So let me see. Okay. Okay, good. Here we are. So, welcome everyone. Good morning. I'm really excited to be with you this morning in this live session. We are going to go through some really yummy stuff on the legal side of your business. And actually what I want to do is I want to share my screen with you, because today I want to walk you through what is an actual legal due diligence. You know, maybe you are looking for funding, and I assume that's why you are watching the live this morning. Maybe you are planning to sell a part of your business. Maybe you are preparing to get financing, whether it's a debt, a loan, or through equity. Whatever your intention is, you know already that a very important part of this process is the legal due diligence. And what happens in a legal due diligence is that before your investors or your lender is going to decide whether or not to grant you a certain amount of money, and in order for them to understand what are the terms and conditions under which they will be granting you that funding, be it equity or debt, like I said, they will want to look at the current status of your business from a legal standpoint. Of course, there will be a due diligence from a business standpoint, from a financial standpoint, but as I am a lawyer, I will have a look with you today at what the legal due diligence looks like. And in order to do that, I want to quickly share my screen with you and share basically share with you how it looks like in a legal due diligence, what kind of information is requested from you, and the intention of this. And the reason why I'm doing this is to actually show you how this is going to play out, but also to give you like a structure under which you can organize your legal affairs and your legal database prior to going into the legal due diligence. And I think this is a very important part, because how you're going to structure the legal side of your business from the beginning, from the very start, is how everything is going to run in the future. And even if you, whether or not you go through the legal due diligence at a certain point in time, and irrespective of the goal of that legal due diligence and what you or your investor is intending to get out of it, implementing this structure in your business from day one is going to create a very strong legal foundation. And as you know, that is all that I preach about, and that's why I'm here for, so that you can create that strong legal foundation in your business. And then, you know, sky's the limit. You can do whatever you want with that. But we've already established that. We've created that. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I hope that works. Let's see. So here is actually a very, what I like to call a very standard legal due diligence list. And what I mean by that is that we use it as a standard in due diligence in a transaction. It can be that there are variations to it, that maybe an investor or a lender will want to look at specific items, but more or less, this is the framework, so to say, for a legal due diligence. And this is what I want to show you today and walk you through. And like I said, the idea of this whole thing is that you can immediately, after this live session, take this and implement it in your business. So let's see, what do I mean? It typically is formulated as a checklist or an information request list or a questionnaire. And you will see that in the contents, there are certain items that investors want to look at. For instance, your corporate structure and records, your share capital and shareholders. This is where your cap table comes in, your accounts, your finance and banking side, the contracts and trading, the assets, the intellectual property, the insurance, consents and compliance, litigation and disputes. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the point of this is to give you an idea of where investors will be looking at, like what are the key sections that your investors will be looking at. Good. And if we take, for instance, I'm not going to go through each and every one of these sections, so to say, but if we go through, for instance, corporate structure and records, we are going to see here that under this section, what is typically requested from you and expected from you is copies of the company's incorporation documents, certificates, the articles, the bylaws, or however you call them in each jurisdiction, information on the directors and legal representatives and company secretary, but also the company's register of members, and if there are any special rights in respect to the shares that have been issued in the capital of the company, an ownership chart, details of the company's interests in any other company, a subsidiary, whether it's a joint venture or another entity, and a copy of all existing powers of attorney granted by the company. Okay, as you can see, this is quite detailed. And the reason for that is because they will want to understand that you know, everything from a corporate perspective, from a liability perspective, is functioning not only in accordance with the law, but that there are no restrictions that would impede on them making an investment in your company. And as I said in the very beginning, the idea is that you start organizing this information and not just this information, all these documents regarding your company in this particular way from the beginning. And I even suggest that you start structuring your online database, your cloud database of legal documents in this particular way, because of course, at the moment where an actual due diligence will happen, it will be so much easier, and time-wise, it's going to go a lot faster for you and your investors to start that due diligence and look into the company. Now, another important section is share capital and shareholders. Particularly, this will be looked at in very much detail in terms of what types of shares have been issued in the share capital of the company, if there are different classes or denominations, are the shares fully paid up. So you will normally be expected to present a register of shareholders and a cap table, and also show who are the beneficial owners of those shares. In fact, in some instances, there is a very important part of the whole investment process, which is the know your client procedure, the anti-money laundering procedure, where certain investors and funds and banks are required by law to identify the ultimate beneficial owners, and then you will be required to provide all this information. Now, the good part is, like I said, that if you have this organized from the start, this can be a very, actually a non-stressful and little to no time-consuming process, and it's something that you can build upon over time. Also in the section of share capital and shareholders, they would be interested in seeing if there are any preemption rights, transfer restrictions, conditions affecting the transfer of the company's shares. This, of course, can be visible in the company's bylaws and articles of association, but also in some cases there may be shareholders agreements that have been concluded, and you will be expected to disclose those. Shareholders agreements, which are private agreements between the shareholders of the companies and are not necessarily, and contain provisions that are not necessarily included in the company's articles and bylaws. Also, if there are any options, rights, and warrants, and interests and security or other encumbrance over the company's issued or unissued share capital, and details of any redemption or buyback of shares, if there have been any capital increases or decreases in the past 5 years. All of this information will be expected to be seen under this section, and what you practically want to do is to gather everything related to that in a separate folder in your cloud legal documents database, and start gathering all of that information in a specific folder. Now, I don't want to go very, very detailed into all of these sections. Actually, what I propose that you do is, if you are interested in having a copy of the legal due diligence checklist, which is a template, like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is how the request for legal information and documentation is going to look in your particular case, or with all of your investors or lenders. However, it's a template, and it's a very good indication, and it's a very good starting point for you to start organizing your legal documents database and be prepared for an actual due diligence. So if any of you is interested in having this template, I'm giving it away for free. All you have to do is let me know in the comments or send me a DM. and through whatever platform you're watching me today, and I will send it to you. And what I propose you do is that, like I said in the beginning, you start already organizing a remote legal database for all of this documentation, where you start uploading, you and your team, of course, start uploading all of this information according to the folders and subfolders exactly as listed in the legal due diligence checklist. And then what's going to happen, this is the beauty of it, okay, is that you are going to discover where you are missing information, or you have incomplete documentation, or maybe you have no idea what that is, or maybe you are reminded that you forgot to actually sign that shareholder agreement, or to register something in the register of shareholders. So basically, what I'm actually getting to is that you take this legal due diligence checklist and you see where your soft spots are, so to say, where there is a little more work for you to do to fill in the gaps and get ready for your conversations with investors. Because, by the way, you're gonna have to be answering a lot of questions about, including about the legal side of your business. And this legal due diligence checklist template gives you a very solid ground to go in there prepared for the big talk. And I'm really happy that I shared this with you today. Okay, so that was it for today. I'm going to stop here. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And actually, let me know in the comments if there are other topics, like specific topics that you would like to touch upon regarding how to get funding fast and efficient, in terms of the legal side of your business and where you are right now. Also, remember to subscribe, to push, to press the follow button on my page to get updates on when I'm going live next. It's actually every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. Central European Time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye.